Welcome to Step by Step, a video Bible study series presented by the Monte Vista Church of Christ in Phoenix, Arizona.
In Romans chapter 1, beginning with verse number 14, the Apostle Paul says, I am under obligation both to Greeks and to barbarians, both to the wise and to the foolish. So for my part, I am eager to preach the gospel to you also who are in Rome, for I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith to faith, as it is written, but the righteous man shall live by faith. What is your passion? What are you really passionate about in your life? Are you really passionate about your job? Are you really passionate about your career, or maybe your favorite sports team, or politics? Or maybe you're very passionate about exercising and keeping your body in good shape. What about evangelism? What about spreading the gospel to the lost? Are you also passionate about that? Is that something that you're really excited to do each and every day that God blesses you on this earth? When we study the words of the Apostle Paul here in Romans chapter 1, it is clear that he was very passionate about winning lost souls. He was very passionate about the work of evangelism, the work of spreading the gospel. In fact, here in this section, he gives three I am statements that clearly demonstrate that for us. Why was Paul so passionate about the work of spreading the gospel to lost people? Well, the first reason why he was so passionate about this important work was because he says that he was obligated to do it. In Romans 1 and verse 14, he says, I am. There it is. I am under obligation, both to Greeks and to barbarians, both to the wise and to the foolish. Notice how Paul says, I am under obligation to spread the gospel. When Paul says that he was under obligation to spread the gospel, the idea there is that he felt indebted to spread the gospel. He felt indebted to God and his son, Jesus Christ. He felt indebted to the Lord because he really appreciated what the Lord did for him by dying on the cross at Calvary. Paul's great sense of indebtedness motivated him to spread the gospel to the lost. The question is, what about us? What about me? What about you? Do we also feel a great sense of indebtedness to Jesus? Do we also feel a great sense of indebtedness to him for dying on the cross and making it so that we can receive forgiveness and from God and have a relationship with God? If we really feel a great sense of indebtedness to Jesus for what he did for us at Calvary, then we will naturally want to go and spread the gospel. We will naturally want to go and tell other people the good news of Jesus Christ. Paul's great sense of indebtedness is what motivated him to be mocked and beaten and experience great persecution, even be stoned for the cause of the gospel. He says, I'm under obligation to spread the gospel to all people. But not only did he feel a great sense of obligation, a second thing that motivated him to be serious about evangelism was his eagerness. In Romans 1 and verse 15, he goes on to say, so for my part, I am eager to preach the gospel to you also who are in Rome. Paul says, I am eager to spread the gospel. When Paul says he's eager, the idea there is he was enthusiastic about it. He was excited about this work. He was someone who got up each and every day looking forward to spread the gospel. He viewed spreading the gospel not as a burden, but as a privilege. The question is, what about us? What about me and what about you? Are we also eager to spread the gospel? Are we also enthusiastic about it? Are we also very passionate about it? I submit that if we are eager to talk with people about our favorite sports team or politics or even our children or grandchildren, how much more eager should we be to tell people about Jesus? How much more eager should we be to tell people about the salvation found in him so that they too can experience this just like we're blessed to experience this if we're Christians? Paul says that he was under obligation to spread the gospel and he was eager to do it. But then look at verse number 16. In verse 16 he says, for I am, there that language is again, I am not ashamed of the gospel. For it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. Notice how here Paul tells us that not only was he not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ, but he also tells us why he wasn't ashamed of the gospel of Christ. The reason why he wasn't ashamed to spread the gospel to as many people as he could was because he really believed in its power. He really had faith in its power. He really had faith that if the gospel was spread and planted into the hearts of honest people, it would do exactly what God said it would do, and that is it would save them. It would bring them unto the Lord and gain them access to receive God's forgiveness. Paul was not ashamed of the gospel. The question is, what about us? What about me? What about you? Are you ashamed of the gospel? I want to suggest that if you're really not ashamed of the gospel, if I'm really not ashamed of the gospel, then you know what we will do? We'll spread it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it with as many people as we can, because we know, we have faith that if people have honest hearts, they will be saved by the blood of Jesus, just like the Bible promises. I am under obligation. I am eager. I am not ashamed of the gospel. These are the three things that motivated Paul to be serious about evangelism, and let these three things also motivate us to be serious about this great work.
Thanks for watching. For more online Bible study material, or to find more episodes in this series, visit us on our website at montevista.church.